Hello and welcome to Salud SA, San Antonio's premier health and wellness television show. I'm your host, Anastasia. On this show, we explore the diverse world of alternative healing and wellness. Each month, we'll feature interviews with local entrepreneurs who have created unique business centered around mind, body, and spirit well-being. From sound therapy to infrared saunas, vegan cuisine to children's yoga, gardening, and beyond. Join us as we dive into the stories behind these innovative businesses and discover the transformative power of alternative healing modalities. This month, I'll be interviewing Jeremy Jacob, the owner of Evolve Human Optimization Labs, a cutting-edge biohacking facility that offers a wide range of recovery and healing modalities. Jeremy is a visionary in the field of human optimization and is dedicated to helping individuals unlock their full potential and achieve optimal health and well-being. Join us as we dive into the possibilities at Evolve. Welcome, Jeremy. I'm so excited to have you here again to give us some updates on what's been going on at Evolve and also just to learn a little bit more about the modalities you have. Evolve is such a unique place, and we are so lucky to have a place like that in San Antonio. So I think it's really important to know that it's there. So well, let's just dive in a little bit. So first of all, tell us what Evolve is and then how you got into it and how you basically started Evolve Human Optimization Labs.
Yeah, so thank you for having me back. Last time I was here, I was talking about our spa Float, and that's kind of the genesis of it. We've been operating Float here in San Antonio for 7 years. We just had our 7-year anniversary, so that's really exciting. And we've always been really excited about trying different services and modalities there. And some of the things we now have at Evolve, we tried out at Float. And I started to realize that certain services don't really work in the spa model, meaning that, when you have to book an appointment and, there's extra expense that comes in with that spa model. So with Evolve, we wanted to create a way for people to engage with these health and wellness services that we really believe in, and one, make it more convenient, but also more cost-effective for our guests. So with Evolve, the main ideas that are really different is that we don't require appointments. So you can literally show up at any time, and you have access to this whole, we actually call it a wellness playground now, is one of these terms that just kind of came up. Yeah. So you have all these different things that you can do in the space, and it's everything from cold plunges, which I know we're going to talk a lot about, to massage chairs. We've got devices to help with stress and anxiety, mental health. We have a lot of devices for athletes, so we actually have pretty much everything you'd find in a pro locker room. So it's a really wide range of things. It's actually over 25 different services you can do. And when you come in, there's no time limit. There's no limit to how many different services you can enjoy. So it's a really unique experience, and it's done really well, and we're excited to bring that here to San Antonio. We actually invented the concept. We really couldn't find anywhere else that was doing this. And it's been so successful that we're now franchising that model and opening a location in Dallas next year. So it's an exciting time. It's a lot, but really exciting.
Oh, that is so exciting. So one of the things I really like that you mentioned is that it's not a la carte. So it's not like I have to pay, okay, I need to pay if I'm gonna use a Pandora Star, I need to pay if I'm gonna use a compression sleeve, I need to pay if I'm gonna do a cold plunge. So It's kind of like you pay one fee and you come in and go. So it's kind of like going into a gym.
Yeah.
Right? So you can use everything that's in the gym usually by just having your membership or having a day pass or something.
Yeah, and that's where we wanted to create a great value. So and everybody has different needs, and even with health and wellness, our needs change from day to day. So typically when you book at a spa, and again, like we love that model because you have the privacy and it's really relaxing and customized to, like, gives you a lot of personal attention. But at Evolve, it's mostly membership based. So when our members come in, like one day you might have sore legs because you're trying to get back to the gym, and so we've got compression sleeves that'll push blood flow into the legs to help with that recovery. And one day you might have had a hard day at work and you come in and you need to de-stress. So we've got things like the brain tap that gives you guided meditation along with a light therapy. We've got our other light therapy device that can draw you into a more relaxed state. A lot of it's really high-tech stuff that's only been around sometimes for a few years, sometimes only for a few months. We're always adding new equipment there. So I really love that each time you come in, you get to customize your experience. And it's just really exciting that we came up with this concept and we got to bring it to San Antonio and now hopefully the world.
Yes, definitely the world needs it. So the other thing I like about this concept is that it doesn't sound like it's, because at the gym as a woman sometimes I go in, I'm thinking, oh, it's just gonna be a bunch of meatheads in there like grunting and pushing their weights, and so there's a diverse group of people there, correct?
Yeah.
Like, this is not just for athletes.
It's been one of the really fun, cool things is to see that the way that the actual space has developed. And once we got open, we always hoped that it could be kind of a social space. So we call it social wellness. Especially, post-COVID, people are really focused on their health and taking charge of their health. I think we've really been shown that you have to be proactive in your health and you have to do things to try and keep your mental and physical health strong. But I think we're also like longing for that connection again. So one of the things we hoped and we weren't really sure that we would accomplish was creating a space where people can do something healthy but also socialize. So we've got a lot of folks that come in with friends and family and they spend time there, and you can be sitting next to your spouse in a massage chair or in a sauna, and it's been really beautiful to see the connections that have been made there. People are meeting up with their friends there and making new connections, and the only thing that has to be in common is that you're there to be healthier or a better version. So that's why we call it human optimization. That term in biohacking can feel kind of intense, but really all that it is like anything that you're doing to try and improve your mental or physical health. And it's been really beautiful to see all of those connections happen in our space.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so fun too. Like, having a girls' day and then going to, because those massage chairs look amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, these aren't just like little vibration here. This is like you put your legs in, each leg is getting massaged on. What are they called? Is it a special? Yeah,
I mean, they're just very high-end massage chairs, so they'll get everything from the bottom of your feet all the way up to your neck, and it's got an L-track design, so it's gonna roll your back, but all the way through your glutes. So wow. It's as close you'll get as to a real massage as you can. I still prefer massage therapist, but this is a really great tool. I always do that when I first come in to just kind of help decompress and relax. So yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Nice, very nice. Okay, so the other thing is, going to a traditional gym, it can be intimidating with how to use everything. So in your facility, do I just walk in and I'm like lost? Like, how do I use this stuff? Like, do you have people to help?
Yeah, so we have great helpers. We call them our lab techs. So they're well versed in all of the equipment, and the beautiful thing about it is it is self-serve once you're comfortable. But the first few times we're gonna know when you're coming in for the first time. We have a day pass, so some folks will come in and just like want to try it out, and we're gonna walk you to each station, kind of explain what the benefits are of each service or device, and then we're gonna help you get started on each one. And so basically your first 2 or 3 times, we're gonna be there to kind of guide you through. If you've got specific needs, we're gonna make some recommendations. Now we're not diagnosing anything. We don't have physical therapists on staff. Our crew is more there just to facilitate the experience. They're also coaches sometimes. So the first time you cold plunge is always gonna be a challenge. I've done it 100 times, and each time I'm standing there about to go into the cold plunge, it is hard, but I always remember the way that you feel afterwards and the benefits that come from that are worth it. So the beautiful thing is we've got 3 cold plunges now. They're at 3 different temperatures. So if it's your first time, we have a 57 degrees, which anybody can do. We recommend trying to get 2 minutes in there, so it's not terribly long. 2 to 5 minutes is the perfect window. So our crew is great at coaching people through that, and sometimes it's just distracting. So we'll be there, just kind of like talking you through it. But some of the things I love about that is it's a challenge that we can all overcome. So a lot of times we have guests come in that don't think that they can cold plunge. They're like, no way I'm going to do that. Why would I do that? And we kind of convince them to try it out. And then when they get done, they feel really accomplished. Like you did something challenging, and I think that's really important to do. And then you've got all the physical and mental benefits that come with that. There's a lot of science that's coming out that's showing what cold plunging could do, and we're still learning a lot, but I think a lot of what we do is about hormesis, like challenging the body in small increments so that it can be stronger.
Yes. Okay. So would you do just a cold plunge by itself, or would you then go into a sauna? What works the best?
Most people prefer contrast therapy. There's just not many places where you can actually do that. So contrast therapy in general is when you're going from cold to hot. Sometimes it's multiple rounds. Another cool thing about Evolve is we have multiple options for that. So contrast therapy can be very direct. So we have a device that is generally for like aches and pains of joints. So it's a cryocompression. So say if you've got tennis elbow or a problem with your shoulder, everybody's got one, at least one joint that is bothering them. So this device is really cool. We've got knee, elbow, shoulder, lower back, ankle, and it will cool the joint. You can do 20 or 30 minutes in there. Wow. Do light compression, so kind of squeeze it, but it gets the entire joint cold, which can help if there's some kind of inflammation or swelling. And then we've got devices that also heat. So depending on the nature of the problem, sometimes heat is prescribed, sometimes cooling. So that's a targeted contrast therapy that we can do. But whole body contrast therapy is really fun. So you can go from the cold plunge into a traditional sauna or a Norwegian sauna. We just built a big, beautiful sauna there. Our original ones were too small. So we've got a beautiful sauna space. And we also have infrared saunas, which heat the body directly, and it's a lot less intense because the room isn't as hot. So we've got multiple options on that. And basically the idea behind contrast therapy is when you switch from hot to cold, you've got the ideas of vasoconstriction, vasodilation, which is basically saying your cardiovascular system is going to be restricted in some areas and then it's going to open up. And when you do that, it's a workout for cardiovascular system, especially when you're doing full body contrast therapy, but also it can push blood flow in and out of joints or muscles. And the science is basically showing us that can lead to healing and recovery. So again, we have a ton of options for that, and we can really customize it to what your needs are. But I really like doing contrast therapy from the cold plunge to the traditional sauna. It feels amazing, and the sauna can help make the cold plunge a little bit easier to manage.
Yeah, I can imagine that it does. So what do you tell someone like me? Because I hate the cold, right? And I mean, I'm always freezing, and and I know the benefits, and I think, oh, that seems like a great idea, but I still have PTSD from jumping into Barton Springs, which we know is only like 75 degrees or something. I don't know. But I remember jumping in there, and my lungs felt like they just got really tight, and I couldn't breathe, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm never doing this again, right? And so then I never got into Barton Springs again, right? But it also kind of makes me scared to think about getting into a tub of ice water. So what do you do for people like me? Start out small, so sometimes we'll have folks they'll just put their legs in the cold plunge to start out. Also, just understanding that it's very safe, especially in our controlled environment. I really like that we've always got an attendant there
with someone, and that's where the coaching comes in. It's also about safety. You want to be really careful about entering, especially really cold water on your own. It's definitely not prescribed, and it's generally safe as long as you've got a healthy heart. There's not a lot of contraindications, but the one beautiful thing about it, one way to think about it, is if you're generally cold and you have a hard time with the cold plunging is the best way to manage that, because our bodies, I mentioned the term hormesis, which is this term, but basically what it means is you kind of stress the body in the way that you want to improve. So the way we work out, you don't want to go to the gym the first time and just hit it really heavy, because you're going to do more damage than good. So when you stress it in small increments, the right amount over time, our bodies adapt. And what's really cool is it only takes 5 to 7 sessions in a cold plunge for your body to adapt. So I don't wear a jacket all winter here, because I am so acclimated to the cold from cold plunging. I've even seen folks that have their hands get really cold. If you can, and you can do this at home, you can literally put your hands in an ice bath, say just a bowl of really cold water, and our bodies are great at adapting. So you will generally those cold hands or cold feet is a limited blood flow. So when you do that, your body will actually grow additional blood vessels to help with that circulation. And when you have improved circulation, you can improve that resistance to the cold. So the other thing we're learning with the science behind cold plunging is we've got different types of fat. So white fat, adipose tissue, and like in our bellies, that's obviously not great. We all try and stay away from that. But there's such thing as beige or brown fat. And basically it gets the darker color because it has more mitochondria in the cells. And when you have brown fat, it actually utilizes, produces energy instead of absorbing energy. So they're learning that when you cold plunge regularly, your body will actually grow back brown fat. We have more of it when we're kids. Really? It tends to be around the sternums, clavicle, the spine, and it will actually help your body increase your metabolism. And it helps you stay warm in the cold. So when you cold plunge regularly, you'll actually grow brown fat.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's
and in the strangest places too, right? It seems like places where you wouldn't really have a lot of fat. So this is where the brown fat is.
Yeah, and I think it's to protect organs and things like that. But it's been really cool to see the way that people's bodies adapt, and they're also learning that brown fat will absorb like glucose I just met someone yesterday. I was at an event, and she said that she's been coming to Evolve, and she started bringing her mom. And her mom, I think she said her mom was 70, and she convinced her to cold plunge, and she's diabetic. And she started to see that her A1C was going down. She went to her doctor's office, and her doctor was like, "What are you doing? Your A1C, which is a measure of how severe your diabetes is." He said he saw that it was improving, and the only thing she had really changed is she started cold plunging.
Wow.
And so that was a really cool testimonial that I saw, and there is some science showing that. There was one study that showed, was done in mice and then replicated in humans, that the brown fat absorbs glucose, which can be a food for cancer cells. And so by doing that, they were able to reduce tumor size. Now, we're not saying it's a cure for cancer, but there's a lot of potential there. And I think we're in such comfortable environments all the time. We go from air-conditioned space to heated space. Our bodies aren't stressed the way they were when we were living in nature. So I think that saunas, it's the same thing. Your body produces heat shock proteins, which are healing. It can help produce testosterone, a lot of different things. So when you do these minor stressors, they're not always comfortable, but you feel so much better afterward.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. Because I told you I'm on the other end of the spectrum, so I like the heat. So saunas are my thing. Yeah, I love, and infrared though. The traditional saunas, I've only done a traditional Norwegian sauna a couple of times, and I don't last very long in there because I feel like I can't breathe.
Yeah.
But I know that there's a place for them, and I tend to go on the warm side. But so you have had Wim Hof workshops at at your facility, and this is kind of one of the founders, I guess, of cold plunging in the West and everywhere. So what actually happens there? Because I see the pictures, and I know that there's a lot of breathing that goes into it, and movement, and I can see where that helps. Because when I look at what you've posted, it kind of reminds me of being like at a meditation workshop when you're gonna walk on coals or something, but it's the opposite. You're gonna jump in cold water, right? So how does it work? What do you typically do at one of these workshops?
Yeah, so it's called the Wim Hof method, and it was created by Wim Hof. He's this crazy Dutchman, and he became famous. He's known as the Iceman. He became famous for being able to withstand the cold. So he set Guinness World Records for sitting in ice. He's done things like getting to the second base camp in Everest only in his shorts. So he did all these crazy things, and basically what it goes back to is he had a really challenging event that happened in his life, and he was struggling with some depression and mental health issues, and he just kind of instinctually went into the cold. He went into a cold river in Europe, and he realized when he came out he felt better. So he started doing it regularly, and he started challenging himself to stay in longer. And what he realized is that the breath is a major factor of being able to withstand the cold. When you mentioned that you hyperventilate when you get in the cold, that's the natural reaction. And part of what we try and do when you cold plunge is we try and control the breath, because if you can control the breath during stress, then you can control the mind, and it can be a powerful tool for any kind of stressful event in our lives, because we just kind of learn to manage stress better. So through this process, he developed a breathwork technique, and it's a combination of breath holds and hyperventilation. And he's been doing this for about 30 years. And the cool thing is, the last decade or so, science has started to back his method. And there have been a few studies, things like where they injected him with an endotoxin, like with literally some like bacteria, and he was able to like withstand some of the symptoms using his breathwork method. And the scientists were really intrigued by that, and they said, well, this is just you, like you're kind of this special person, you've got these genetics. And he was able to take, I think it was 9 people, put them through this training, and they replicated the same results. So he started to show that, one, we know breath work is really powerful, and that's a big buzzword. There's lots of great breath work techniques, so this is just one of many. Box breathing is really important for managing stress. I use breath work throughout my day for different things. What I like about the Wim Hof method breath work is it reminds us of the power of breath. I think in Western culture, we don't really think about it. We just kind of sit here and breathe, and most of us are shallow breathing, and so we may not be getting enough oxygen to our brain. If you're in a stressful situation and you hold your breath, that's going to actually spike your stress hormones. So learning to manage your breath and utilize your breath in different situations can be a really powerful tool for performance. Athletes learning how to use their breath properly. And then also managing stress and anxiety, those type of things. So basically at our workshops, we bring in a certified Wim Hof instructor. They'll do some breath work training, so kind of teach you the method. We'll go through a few rounds of that, which can be really interesting. It's intense breath work, so you'll get tingly, your body will get warm. I'm usually sweating by the end of it.
Wow.
And then we'll go into the cold, and basically what it's doing is this breath work is igniting your internal combustion. So you're literally heating your body from the inside out. And so the way he was able to withstand the cold in these extreme situations was by heating his body and then going into there. And then he also talks about using mental focus and things like that. So it's a cool combination. It makes cold plunging a lot easier and also safer. But I've just really enjoyed it, and that was part of the inspiration. But I think he is the reason that cold plunging is so popular right now. You're seeing people are buying cold plunges for their home.
Yeah, I've seen them. There are these barrels that are outside and like all kinds of stuff. They look really cool.
Yeah. And so with Evolve, like we understand, like not everybody can afford to have a cold plunge at home. So we've created a space where you can pop in at any time. You can use the cold plunges and get the benefits, but you don't have to maintenance it. You don't have to clean it and do all that kind of stuff. You don't have to lug ice home.
Yeah.
So you can just show up, and we've got, like I said, we've got 3 temperatures. It's 57, 48, and 39. The 39 is really hard. That's the one I do, but man, you feel amazing afterward.
Wow. I can imagine. I'm sure, because, you know, and I say I've never done it, and I haven't done it in this extreme, but I have, when I was talking about the Norwegian sauna, I've been in some saunas, and then there'll be a little dipping pool outside that's cold, but it's not ice cold. And I was like, I'm not going to get in there, but I did. I put my foot in, you know, my legs in first, and then I probably got into about almost up to almost all the way, but I got out really quickly.
Yeah.
But I noticed the feeling afterwards was really nice. I was like, wow, I felt so good. And that was just a little, you know, a little taste. So I can imagine actually getting into the tub and sustaining it for a couple of minutes and then getting out. I bet you feel really like high on life.
250% increase in dopamine.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it's incredible.
Wow.
So you do have this this powerful feeling. It's my favorite because like when you're in the space, you'll hear people cold plunging, and it'll be everything from, you know, the screams and the the heavy breathing and all that, and then but then sometimes you'll hear these, like, my favorite is like the power yell, somebody will be like, you just feel energized and you feel powerful after that. And that literally is these chemicals in our body that are there to help heal and restore. But mentally, a lot of people are using it for depression and managing stress and anxiety, because it's gonna fix those chemical imbalances and give you a surge of adrenaline, and you feel like you can tackle anything after that.
Yeah, that's really amazing. Now I want to go do it. Yay. So where can people find you?
So it's evolvehumanlabs.com is the website, or if you just Google Evolve San Antonio, we should show up. And just come and check it out, and we'll make it easier for you to experience it. Great.
All right, Jeremy. Well, it was a pleasure, and I'll see you again soon, I'm sure.
Okay, I'm going to see you in the cold plunge. I'm getting you in there.
Oh, gosh.